Hey all, this is Val here with another Dungeon Hunter Champions video. In today's video, we're going to take the PvP spotlight and point it at our boy, Washi, the Water Ink Ninja. Okay, so if you're wondering why I'm a little quiet, it's super early in the morning here. I could not sleep. I don't want to wake up my family. We're going to go ahead and go this way. Now, the reason why I'm going with the HP lead is my Washi is super squishy. And on top of that, the more HP that Valor has, which is the light AA, the stronger the shield, which will help my Washi live longer. So let's get this going. I don't foresee us having any problems with this particular team. We'll strip there. Okay, let's get that stun. There we go. I mean, no problem. No problem. There's a lot of fire in that too. And a bounty hunter. Very interesting defense, you know. Haven't seen bounty hunter on defense really, to be honest with you. Alright, here we go again. We'll probably want to kill Zevron first. Although, with this particular team, I don't believe it matters. That's no disrespect to this guy. Obviously, he is doing the best he can with his defense, and I appreciate that, right? Because you got to make what you have work as best as you can. Make it work. Not everyone is going to have top tier units, right? So they can't, you know, he could have just put like something dumb there, like a Dark B. Although that would help with the event. So, and by the way, to everyone out there who is putting up super crappy defenses like Dark B or the most interesting one I have seen so far is a full team of squires, all of the squires. It was really pretty cool. So to all of you that's doing that, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's go for the, oh no. Let's do some strips there. There's entirely too many buffs. Get out of that. Get that stun. There we go. Now, we do have mortal wounds with Washi, which we definitely need against teams like this. Oh, nice full team stun. Looks good, looks good. Let's throw out that cooldown reduction. Strip. Well, I didn't get the shield. Every now and then, Xenia derps. Every now and then. There we go. This time, we're going to remember, we're going to look at that DPS log. Alright. This time, let's go for a magical girl. Good job. Look at all those debuffs. They're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. Let's strip. Oh, look at that. Xenia is going to work. That time, she grabbed a few of those. Let's throw that cooldown reduction out there. Excellent. Now. Let's look at that. Let's take a look. There we go. This is what we wanted. Okay, so we got 386k coming out. Look at all the debuffs. Look at, oh, he didn't really have a great uptime on armor break, but we had Camille taking care of that. That's why. Look at Camille. Camille's on the ball. Thank you, Camille. But yeah, we got everything we needed to stick. And look at that uptime on Mark. Now, Mark is where the magic happens with him. All of his abilities do something awesome when you have Mark. His ult is a guaranteed crit with Mark. So this is really, really good thing. Really, really good thing that it's this high. This guy is a little weaker. It's definitely a sustained team. There is no attempt to kill you at all here. There is just an attempt to stall you to hell and back. Now, I know some people will see Zircon and be like, oh, dude, this is going to be easy. Believe it or not, even in today's meta, I have seen Zircons and Amethysts that are just ridiculously tanky. They're one of the easiest units to build for arena defense. They are just, because you don't really have to build them anything. You just build them 100% pure defense and HP. That's it. You don't do anything else with them. That's all the substats you look for. And the good thing about putting them in a team like this is their heal and all that scales off of the enemy's HP. Every unit that he has in this team has high HP. So while some might look at it and think like, oh man, this is going to be easy, and it likely will be because he has 250 units. But If these units were 60, all of them should be built HP. That means Zircon's going to heal for a significant amount in addition to these shields, and Kai Wenji's stun and her own AoE heal. Not to mention the fact that we have cooldown reduction from Zinnia is going to mean that this is a highly sustainable team, and if they're all on depth on top of that, which they probably are, it would be extremely problematic unless you had a very, very high DPS team, or a team that's scaled by dealing damage based on the enemy's HP would be very destructive to this. So let's go ahead and get it started. Let's get that stun. And again, you know, he had 50 units in here. And we have a stripper. So there are ways to counter everything, right? Even when you make logical choices in your arena defense, there's always going to be a counter to it. There is no team you can say like, okay, it's impossible to counter this. Whether it's avoiding stuns, whether it's bringing strips, whether it's bringing buff block, there always is a counter to everything. The question is, do you have the units to counter it? So what you want to make sure when you're going up against an arena defense is that your team is best suited to take that defense down. So let's go ahead. Come on, let's go. Let's get that stun in there. Good stun. It's got way too many buffs. Let's get all those buffs out of there. Oh, D.Va gets us. She found the millisecond that Camille's immunity wasn't up and exploited it. Very well done. Get that strip. Get that stun. There we go. Let's get some cooldown reduction. Get our abilities up. Alright, so he's down. We just now need to be very careful of Zinnia's, or of Kai Wenji's stun. But that's why we have Camille to deal with that kind of thing. All right. That one took us a little longer because we ran into, you can see the power of D.Va's stun right there. It's so long. All right, let's take a look. Here we did a lot more damage. And again, you might be wondering, with, oh, he had 50 units. How did you do more damage here? That's because that was a very extremely tanky team. As I said, he was likely running all of those with HP. On top of that, he had a lot of heal units, so I was having to kill them several times over. The really important stat to look here is that unfortunately I only had 4 seconds of mortal wounds. That's it. That's all I got. So that is going to be another reason that contributed to the high DPS. Again, you want to look at the team you're fighting and make sure that you're bringing the best solution. And this probably what happened here is that I had a lot of resist, and this was in addition to being a HP heavy tank team, also likely had a very, very high resistance, because not just Washi's buff time is down, but everyone's, compared to the last few fights, is down. So that has a lot to play into it. So Washi definitely works against tanky teams. That crit, the mortal wounds, it's really, really good. I really would prefer to have a higher amount of accuracy, as you saw in some of those fights that likely had high resistance. Everyone suffered, right? And as you can see, I have 87%. So that is, as I've stated before, I mean, you can have as much as you want, but in the end, if you're going against a very high resistance team, especially in PvP, and you need critical buffs like mortal wounds to land, I highly recommend as close to 100 as you can get. Even with 87, as you saw, it wasn't the greatest uptime against those high resistance teams, but that reflected all across the board. But on those higher resistance teams, he was the least, because my Zinnia is at 97%, and my AA is at 100%. So their numbers were slightly better because of the higher accuracy. Now, one of the things I would really like to change on this is his crit damage. The skill 3 wasn't hitting as hard as I would expect. You would see there was a few times where there was only a magical girl left. He would ult, and it would only do about a quarter damage, and if it was a higher crit damage, it would do a lot more, because in all those situations it did have mark, which is a guaranteed crit, but I'm only working with 84% crit damage, which really is not that great. I think going through these fights, I would still prefer they be on mortal, because he would hit a lot harder. Now, I know that some prefer Adept on there, or maybe even the majority prefer Adept. But I am a huge Mortal fan, and that skill 3 would hit a lot harder, as well as all other abilities, if I did have more crit damage. Yes, that can be done with Adept, but I am of the mind that the harder you hit, the less likely you have to wait for skill cooldowns, which is where Adept excels. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, if you have any comments or a different build that you would like me to take a look at, or one that you feel is better, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. Also, hit that bell icon so you know when I have new videos available. Thank you all for watching, and as always, all you dudes and dudettes out there, stay frosty.